Welcome to Bring It Back. At the end of last week's video, I teased a little bit about this week's video, which is going to be a little bit of a garden makeover. And it's going to be a makeover in the sense of there is nothing now, and there will be something at the end of this video. So yeah, let's get started. This is Bring It Backyard. I think it's going to be episode 1 of this series that I'm calling Bring It Backyard. It's kind of like a Bring It Backyard. It'll get there. It's a little bit of a garden makeover, and there's a few things we're going to do to be able to make over this video. First, we're going to plan. We're going to prepare. We're going to figure out what we want to do for this makeover and what we want to do for the future. Like how I would like for this garden to look 10 years time. What do I have to do now for this garden to look beautiful in 10 years? And then 2, we're going to figure out the seed process, like what seeds are going to work, what's not, and do I have to buy all these seeds myself? That sounds a little expensive. And then 3, soil. Soil is a big part of a garden, and there are many types of soils I have found out, and there's a lot of different ways this could go. So we're going to figure it out together, and let's go ahead and start with the planning process. I started off on Pinterest, as one does, where you start most places, and I created a board called Dream Garden, what I would like for my backyard to look like, and I found some things out about myself and about how I want this world to be. So I watched some TV shows about backyard gardens, and I know that you can really do anything with it. It's as long as you've got the time, the money, and mostly the money to do it. And I'm trying to do this on as little money as possible. I don't want to go out and buy new things. I don't want to give more money to the big corporations at the top. I want to go buy from my neighbors. I want to go source from the library, and I want to see what I can do with as little money as possible in, as much time as it takes. We're starting off free with Pinterest. I have figured out, after I've compiled a lot of photos into this collection, the things that I really like are areas around a small space. So I want texture going up, and I want colors around, and then I want a flat area. And I think that it's a lot easier to keep grass green and lush when there's a smaller amount of space to keep it nice and green. Whereas right now our backyard is just all grass, and it just feels so daunting and so overwhelming to keep it lush and green all year long. But if I just have a patch here, there, around, that's a little bit easier to maintain. I want a lot of flowers. I want something nice to look at all year round, and I want spaces to sit. I want a place to entertain in the backyard. There are some places that are ideal for entertaining, and I just kind of want to make these spaces attainable, and I want to create a good base so that when I am ready and I do find that perfect outdoor table, the outdoor stuff, I can have that ready to go. We are in zone 9 in Texas, in Austin, and it is hot in the summer, and it does not get that cold. So thankfully for the cold, there are just a few times a year where you've got to cover up all your plants. But in the summer, it is hot, and it is increasingly hot. So I don't know how all of this is going to work in the summer, but I do know that there are some hardy plants out there that are drought tolerant, so I don't have to spend a lot of money watering, and there are a lot of plants that will be okay to stand in the sun for that long. The other thing I want to do in this garden is have a vegetable garden. I want to be able to grow our own food, lettuce, tomatoes, all of those things that we use every day, so maybe that's a little bit less that I have to buy at the grocery store. Yeah, I found a lot of different images that help solidify where we want to go with the garden and where we would like it to be, and how we want to create a fruit and vegetable area. Also, so a lot of these images are of a square garden, of just a plot, you've got a flat and you've got a plot of land behind you, and you've got that square subdivision plot. We are not in an area like that. Our backyard is in a strange shape, and what I thought was just a corner triangle ended up not being a triangle. it's an even stranger shape that I don't think they have a name for that yet. And so I went into the software, I plotted it out, and then I put in things that I definitely know I want. Like I've got, I want a composter in the back area. We have a septic field area that I don't really want to plant on top of. I can plant like wildflowers there, which I think will be really nice, but it's not something that anyone has seen. So I'm okay to leave it as it is, unseen for now. There is a little area right next to it that the sun is just always shining, and I've got a lot of cactuses that I have been saving up since I was living by myself in an apartment, waiting until I bought a house that I could plant these cactuses, and it's finally time to plant these cactuses. So I've created a little cactus garden on the side of the house, and then I'm going to, on the other side, if I can get some like rose bushes to grow there, that would be really nice, and then put in a pergola with some vining plants. And then we have this like fire pit area. I'm not sure what it was used for originally, but the previous owners used it as a fire pit, and we have considered that, but we've gone through summer, fall, and winter in this house, and we have not had any desire to sit outside in front of a fire pit. And even if we're like at a restaurant and there's a fire pit, we would really rather be away from the fire pit because it's just smoke and all of that. We're not really that type of people. Fireplace, that's nice. We'll go to the fireplace. Not so much a fire pit. So, and then ideally a greenhouse has always seemed really nice, and I think that keeping it by the tree would be nice. So that's what I have planned after looking at Pinterest, looking at dream images, plotting out where I think we could fit things. The next step is really to figure out what plants I need and what do I need to buy. Thankfully, the Austin Public Library has a seed system where you can go and get free seeds that other people in town have picked. I don't know exactly how it works. I know that other people have these plants and they are doing well in Austin, and then they drop their seeds and then they gather the seeds and bring it to the Austin Seed Library. And each library has different seeds. They'll have instructions of like, after the last frost, plant this, or sow this before the last frost. And there's just a lot of things that come with it. But I went to, I want to say 3 or 4 different libraries to look at what plants they offered. They had actual vegetables, which is where I got some arugula and some broccoli and tomatoes, but they also had plants, which is where I got some aster, and I got a red yucca and a pride of Barbados, which I think is going to be really beautiful. So I got all of those seeds, and some of them needed to be sowed. Is sowed the right word? Sowed just kind of means to plant it. And on the instructions, it'll say sow by before last frost, or sow by March. So they need to be planted. I realized that the free seeds that I had gotten, like I got some tomatoes, and marigolds do really well with that. I didn't have any marigolds. So I went to the store and I bought some marigolds and some basil because I heard that was good for tomatoes too. And I bought a seedling starter kit and I put some of the seeds in there to see if they would, you know, grow, as they say, there versus outside. And I planted some a few weeks ago. I haven't seen anything really happen. It has been raining quite a bit and it has been cold, so it's been freezing the last few weeks, and I'm not sure if anything's going to happen, but maybe something will be happening soon. And if not, then the seeds that I planted and are ready to grow, I'm going to plant them where earlier I planted. So I needed to prepare the soil so that I could plant all these free seeds that I got, which brings us to the third part of this, which is soil. And so my fiance and I worked one day on this garden. We tried to plant this area that was in front of the fire pit. We dug up the grass that was there, which was so much harder than it seemed. Dug up the grass and then tried to plant or sow all of the flowers that we got there, that we got from the free library. So we put those down and hopefully something's happening. But I also started work on my semicircle garden, and that's going to be a little bit harder to deal with. That soil is just harder to work with, so I need to go to the store and grab some additional organic soil to put on top of that, and maybe some other things. And yeah, I needed to prepare the soil. I needed to make sure that the soil was ready for all these seeds, but I don't have a composter. And so I was looking online, looking at like a Lomi or anyone who has a backyard composter that they're willing to get rid of for next to nothing was my price range. So I'm on the phone with my mom, and I said, I'm having a hard time finding a composter. Have you ever had a composter before? And she said, I have a composter, I'm not using it. Do you want my composter? Yes, I do. I will take it right now. Unfortunately, she lives 4 hours away, so I did have to drive to go get it. Good morning. I am headed to South Texas to see my family. It's my mom's birthday, so I'm gonna go hang out with her and hang out with my sister for a little bit, and we're gonna have a nice day. I stopped at a little coffee shop drive-through and got a coffee, and I got some kolache, which I've already taken a little bite of. You're just allowed to eat hot dogs for breakfast here. Texas is wild. After we had lunch, I went to her house and I picked up the composter and a few other things for the garden. I picked up a plant and some stepping stones, and I'm really excited to use those stepping stones because I remember vividly from childhood of, I think they were at my grandma's house, and I would jump from stepping stone to stepping stone in her garden, and it's just really nice to have it in a full circle. So I brought all those back with me, and I still need to set up the composter and put everything in there, get everything going, but we're getting there. We've got the composter, we're gonna get some good soil soon, and this is all just preparation for making a backyard. So that's all I've got this week. I'm hoping to continue to go to more estate sales so that I can buy more outdoor things. I want to create a space that is a collection of things that have been here and things that have been loved and things that will continue to grow and prosper. And it is so beautiful to know that the seeds that I am planting are from other loving places here, loving homes here in Austin. And if I can find more like pots and planters and things that decorate the backyard and garden, to know that they've been loved from another place here in Austin, is just so nice to know that it's love being carried from place to place. And maybe I'm just in a Valentine's mood, but the world is a beautiful place sometimes, and knowing that you can create beautiful things from your community is just so nice. Yeah, that's what I've got this week. That's what we're doing. That's what's been on my mind. I think next week we are going to continue doing this backyard garden things. I'm going to try and go to some estate sales and see if there's anything that I can bring back to this backyard. But in the meantime, just go ahead and leave your comments and let me know if there's anything that you've done for your garden that's been useful, or anything you wish you would have done before you got so far in your garden that you couldn't. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to learn from your expertise and what has worked for you. So yeah, I'll see you guys next week.